we see a lot of, especially with black women in the industry, creating their own opportunities. Viola Davis with Woman King,
Right.
Issa Rae with what's the name of her show?
Insecure.
And
Formerly the awkward black girl.
yeah, formerly the awkward black girl. What is something? Do you have any? Can you think of any more actresses off the top of your head, or just black actresses in general?
Who have started their own, have created their own opportunity.
Yeah. I know there's someone that I'm missing, but I can't think of it right now. I can't think of her right now.
No, I would say those two are the front runners I can think of.
Yeah. What is something that we can learn from them? Like, yes, we know that creating our own content is important. We get that. Everyone knows that. But what is something that we can learn from them in terms of how to move through our careers, how to create our own content, how to be our own boss and create our own opportunities? What's something we can learn from them?
Yeah, put it out there, man. I see it like stocks. I see it like money working for you. I see like anything else that compounds. You have to put it out there in the world for the compound. Cash in my pocket doesn't compound, so I have to put it out there, and just forget about it. And I think that's where Issa Rae with the awkward black girl, she's putting these episodes up there, putting them out there, and someone got a hold of it and just thought this would be a great idea. And now she's casted a movie. She still managed her own project. It was all because of something that she initiated. And so the biggest thing you learn about that is just put yourself out there to be judged. And that's what I would say is the best thing you can do.
And a lot of people are afraid to be judged because a lot of people a lot of people want to be perfect.
Right.
Now, for random people like that person who's still writing that book,
Yeah.
that they said that they've been writing for the past 10 years.
Yeah.
That person that said that they are still making that feature film,
Right.
but they just haven't gotten a score together or the audio or whatever. They
Right.
haven't done post-production stuff because they're afraid of how it's going to turn out. Or not afraid how it's going to turn out. They want to be too perfect. They're too precious with it.
Right.
And I've realized that a lot of people are too precious with their things.
Their work, yeah.
Yeah, with their work. And what I've come to realize, what I come to discover is that, like you said, just put it out there.
Yeah.
Put it out there because how you feel about it. You know how many interviews I've seen of directors saying they hate like a certain movie that they directed, but then it turns out that audiences love it.
Yeah, I mean, even James Cameron had a complaint with Titanic. He felt like if he just had a little bit more money, there's some things he wanted to add to. He's like, you know what, I didn't get it in there. It's all right. There's some things I wanted to add, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, what could you possibly add to the Titanic? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Or Kate Winslet. I don't think she has not seen the Titanic.
Okay. Oh, she hasn't seen the movie.
I don't think so. Because she doesn't like. She does not like watching herself perform.
Right.
Because she said she looks at the wrong things when.
Yeah.
And I thought that was incredible because like, yo, you're Kate Winslet. You're like one of the greatest actresses of our parents' generation.
Yeah.
But it's like you don't like you don't like watching yourself. You
Right.
know what I mean? But it's just that at the end of the day, like you said, you just got to put it out there. And Issa Rae just came out with this course. You know how I feel about courses. Came out with this course about we're going to teach you how to create your own podcast, create your own TV show, yada yada yada. And I just remember looking at that. I just found this out like 2 weeks ago. And it's like, do you really need a course?
Exactly. I like that.
Just go out there and just like, if you don't know how to shoot something, find someone that knows how to shoot something. If you don't know how to edit, find someone that knows how to edit. You don't need a course on how to do that. Honestly, what it all comes down to, we talked about again, is capital. Issa Rae was able to make that awkward black girl based off locations that she used. I'm pretty sure she had to put some of her own capital into it a little bit.
Right.
But a lot of stuff she got on the down low or for free because of the connections that she had.
Right.
You know what I mean? And these aren't deep connections or anything, but because she just knew people that wanted to work.
Right.
You don't need a course in order to do that. You don't need a course on how to start your own podcast. We didn't watch like a 10-hour course on how to start our own podcast. We just looked on you. We just did it. We didn't even look on YouTube for examples. We just did it.
We just did it.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I think a lot of people, you know how there's barriers to entry for a lot of stuff? I think a lot of people create their own barriers of entry.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And that's part of the reason why consistency is important because of the feedback loop you get. And then you can optimize things, right? How many times does your phone crash or your device crash and it said, hey, do you want to send this report? They're so desperate to get that report back because they can update that thing. But imagine if they waited to get started before they even get started before you optimize type of thing. And the biggest thing is you can't steer a parked car. And keep that in mind.
Come on, man. Well, you dropping all these dimes today, all these quotes.
Yeah. You can't. I'm saying it again just for people to hear this if you're driving or whatnot, because a lot of this is on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. But you can't steer a parked car. I don't care how much you've read over your pamphlet on your permit, and I'm glad you know all the signs and stuff on your permit to pass the test. But there's no way that alone will make you an efficient driver. The only thing that will make you an efficient driver is you pulling out of that driveway or you starting up that car and shifting it to drive. And that's the only way you're going to fine tune that craft to the point that you can do it where it becomes second nature, the point you can do it to get from point A to point B, but you cannot steer a parked car. So
yeah, you can't sit still. It's better to put out something bad than to put out nothing at all.
Yes.
Because at least when you put out something bad, you can learn from it. People are afraid of being judged because people are afraid of failing.
Right.
People want to be good. People look at, like I said, the problem is we look at too many finished products and thinking that's how they started.
Yeah.
James Cameron did not start with Titanic. He started with the movie that he did in like the late 70s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he wasn't even a director. When he was a set designer, right?
You watched the interview?
Yes, a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
I love that.
Dude, he fell in. I'm not saying he fell into directing, but the way that he was telling the story is like he almost fell into. It almost feels like he fell into directing almost.
I know that man's the biggest gangster, man. He wanted to direct. Now he didn't know he wanted to direct at first. You got that right. So he was a set designer, and he saw the director pointing to. Guys, I'm losing my voice. I don't know how this is happening, but he saw the director working, and he wanted to hop into that field. He's like, well, I already do set design. My dad already thinks I'm a failure. So why not just, fail on a bigger scale? And so he ends up going, at some point, point A and point B, goes overseas, I think Italy or something, and do a film out there.
He was fired, wasn't he?
He was fired. I don't know what happened to the footage or how it got cut or whatever. That gets out there. Comes back here. And he just keeps like finessing his way up to the point he gets the Terminator, obviously the Terminator 2.
Yep.
Then he pitches Titanic to 20th Century Fox. And 20th Century Fox decided to give him the $100 million after a huge back and forth in the fight. Because like the guy came back and said, I hate that I love the script. Because at first he didn't want to make a movie about a boat crashing. And people don't know this, but there's already documentaries in circulation at the time of Titanic. Mm-hmm. So Titanic wasn't this dormant topic that no one was talking about. It was a big deal. The reason why is we just had the machines that you see in the Titanic, actually, he put them in there. Those machines that are going underwater, we just got those in 1985.
Yeah, all the little submarines and stuff. Okay.
Submarines.
Yeah.
So we just had technology to even find the Titanic. Keep in mind, for that 70 years, we didn't know where it was at.
That's true.
Like 70 years, it's speculative where it was at.
It just sank.
We didn't know exactly. We knew that 2,000 people were unaccounted for, right? Mm-hmm. And between 1,500 and 2,000 people were unaccounted for. And so they got those machines in 1985 that were able to actually see it, and they thought that was the craziest technology. People were freaking out, like, man, look where we come.
Kind of like ChatGPT.
Yeah, now we're on ChatGPT or Drake featuring The Weeknd and stuff like that. AI, AI, Drake, AI, The Weeknd. But at the time, that was the biggest technology. And so James Cameron's sitting there watching this documentary at like whatever time he's watching it. And he's watching a documentary about these new stuff. And so he made his whole film based off the new technology, honestly. This film was about the boat, doing these things, finding the boat. And if you watch the beginning of the movie, that's exactly what you see.
Yeah.
And he takes to the studio. The studio don't want to make a movie about this. Like, there's already a documentary on HBO or whatever the equivalent was. We already have a documentary out.
Whatever it was, yeah.
Hey, you trying to make a documentary for $200 million? No, we're not doing that. He's just a hustler, man. And it goes back to you cannot steer a parked car. You got to get off the porch. You got to get onto your journey. You got to unlock the car, sit in it, start the thing up, and shift the gear and get to moving. Because if not, you'll be sitting here in your bedroom or in your house, just anticipating all these obstacles that don't exist.
Getting that bill for not trying.
That bill for not trying will get sent to you guys. That's the one that I live by. That's a quote.
I love that quote.
Yeah, he's related, but that one's credited to Jim Rohn. But I'll say now, you think the cost of trying, you think it costs too much to try. Wait till you get the bill for not trying. And what's up, Milo? Yeah, I got my dog in the shot. Anyways, what was the initial conversation about people who made their own opportunity, right?
Yes, like what can we learn from, I mean, we could even learn from James Cameron. How much of a drive, what we talked about earlier, that drive, that's something a lot of people don't have.
Yeah, and that's my point, man. Whether it's James Cameron, whether it's Ava DuVernay, whether it's these Tyler Perry, no matter, Tyler Perry is a great example of, I mean, I don't know if Tyler Perry has actually perfected the craft of this optimal film that can't be touched level yet. He's still creating.
Yeah.
And he's wealthy because of it. And has his art everywhere being watched, all across the nation, globally, based off something that Hollywood may not deem is perfected yet. You cannot live on this idea of perfect, right? So
I agree.
This is a quote about that, but I'll spare you guys. This is Black Hollywood, and get started. And
yep, go be great.
All right.